Hello students, how are you? I hope you're just doing great today. And well, today we've got a new topic. And today I think we are going to learn something different for you and also going to be grateful for you because this you are going to use it during a conversation and also you are going to use it when you go to the supermarket, when you go to, I don't know, a mall, maybe when you have to give change and you need money in order to do this. Okay, so let's go to start today with a new topic which is called lens unit. Okay, some lens, and also this is going to be connected, attached to an also a new topic that I consider it's great and also it's very important for you. Let's going to talk about conditionals, zero, first, second, and third conditional. Okay, so let's going to start over. First of all, with this one. Well, let's going to start with this slide, which you've got here. Okay, this is the first slide that we've got here. Great. So, if you watch this, if you take a look at this picture, what would be the first idea coming into your mind? So, in that picture, we see a little boy. I think that is an alien. I think that. I think, what can you think? What can you give me? What ideas can you make under about just watching this picture? No, I think this is an alien. They are in another planet. Okay, what is the topic of today? What idea have you got so far? What we're going to talk about today? Okay, we've got hills up there. Also, I can see the moon. And also I can see the sky, which is kind of blue. Let's going to think about it, kind of blue, kind of black. And well, we've got different ideas. Maybe you can say that that's an alien just connecting to a human, or just a new beginning of humanity. Remember that the last movie we watched, the movie on Netflix was called The War on Earth. Remember, I recommended you to watch it because it was great. It was very, very great. I loved it. I watched it 3 times before. Well, what is the topic of today? The topic of today is going to be space, general, the universe. Okay, so I hope you like some topics about universes, galaxies, I don't know, comets, and all these. And also there is a very, very, no, I think funny. It's a very funny series that's called The Big Bang Theory. I think that you all know this character called Sheldon Cooper, and she is a scientist and also his cat friends. I think one of his friends is Howard Horowitz, and the other one is Leonard Rush, and there's a girl, I don't remember the name's girl, Penny. So instantly, when I look at this picture, I get connected with this Sheldon Cooper character. So I love it. So the topic of today is going to be space. Also, we've got here some vocabulary. We've got the space vocabulary. You know that we have also to expand our criteria. We have to expand our knowledge. We have to expand our vocabulary. Our criteria must be expanded, and we've got a lot of vocabulary here. For example, let's going to start like if it were a game. Okay, so we've got space vocabulary rules, and we've got, well, the sun, earth, Saturn, moon, astronauts, stars. We got Madrid, Mercury, Venus. We've got Jupiter. We've got Uranus, Neptune, a moon rover, rocket ship, telescope, astronauts, satellites. We've got spaceships too. We've got shooting stars. Have you ever seen a shooting star? Maybe watched in a movie or just the sky? We've got the space shuttle, and we've got asteroids. So we've got plenty, we've got several vocabulary when we refer to space. When I want to know more about space, instantly this come into my mind. And that is great. That is great actually. Great. Let's go to continue now. And let's go to the next one. We've got this another slate. We've got here. Let's go to make it bigger so you can take a look. Great. So we've got more vocabulary. We've got also moon, the planet. We've got the sun. We've got meteor, astronauts, constellation. For example, what is your zodiac sign? I'm a Libra because my birthday is September 25th. So I'm becoming a Libra zodiac sign. We got rocket. Have you ever watched Pokemon? And there is a rocket team. God, because they always have a rocket and also a shovel. So they instantly come into my mind. Oh my God, I remember the rocket team. At Pokemon's cartoons. We've got also galaxy. So, and this is the vocabulary we all must use. Here I love this picture because this picture clears the air. This picture explains it easily and funny because I think you all like this kind of pictures with this animation and also this. It's like how's it called? It's like graffiti. I think you like, and maybe you know how to do it. I can't actually. Well, we've got the universe, we've got the sun, the rocket, we've got minerals, we've got the fossils, eclipses, we've got comet, asteroids, we've got rock cycle, we've got the tectonic plates, we've got the weathering, we've got the water cycle, solstice. What is a solstice? Rotation. We've got the ocean, the galaxy, the planet. Well, I don't know if you have watched that today. Today is Saturday. And today on Netflix is season and the final season of the series called Dark. I'm a big fan of Dark, so I'm going to watch it after I finish recording this video. And that is related to the universe, right? That it's related to all these cycles. That cycle that we've got in the universe. Well, also, as I said, today we're going to be talking about the use of different length units. Okay, so here we've got also a picture which is called Earth's place in the universe, and we've got the vocabulary. For example, what is rotate? What is star? What is the moon? What is the revolve? What's the meaning of sun? What's the meaning of planet? What's the meaning of solstice? So we've got all this new vocabulary that at the time that we have the chance to make a dialogue or just understand the reading a text generally, we must know this high level vocabulary. For example, just an example. What's the meaning of moon? Okay, so moon it's a circle that is in the sky. Okay, that could be a basic definition also for a kid, but when I am talking to an adult or maybe a teenager, like your case, because you're in secondary, so I need a precise definition. Okay, for example, what's the meaning of moon? Moon is an object that orbits a planet. As simple as that. What's the meaning of a star? Star is full of constantly, yes, expanding gases, giving off light and heat. So I need you to start giving me precise definitions. Okay, today's class it's not going to be just about the universe, the vocabulary. We're also learn how to use the different length units. Okay, in general, because at NASA, also in mathematics, also at every single day that you do something, you need to know the different length units. For example, in our country, the length units are not the same that in the United States, are not the same that in England, are not the same that maybe in some other countries. So we must know about that. Okay, here we've got a picture of our book, and says box is 40 centimeters long, wide, height. The length, the width, the height of the box is 40 centimeters. You can pronounce centimeters or centimeters. Both are accepted because one is American and the other one is British. It's okay. We're just talking English. Good. London is 10 kilometers away. That's equal that we're 10 kilometers from London. Okay? The speed limit, the speed limit is 80 kilometers, 50 miles per hour, an hour. So I'm using here an slash to divide per and per or and. You can say per hour or an hour. It depends on the context. Also, it depends on the idea. It depends of how you want to describe that action. In this case, a speed limit is 80 kilometers per hour. Speed limit is 80 kilometers miles or 80 miles or 50 miles an hour. Both are accepted. It takes 2 hours to go to London. It takes 2 hours to get London. So when I'm using the verb to take, that means what means? Long, long, the time getting expanded. Great, very good. So it takes 2 hours to get to London. Good. As it says here itself, in the USA, they use different length units. For example, 1 mile is equal to about 1.6 kilometers. Good. 1 foot. So what's 1 foot? Well, it's equal to about 30 centimeters. Remember that here in our country, in Peru, we use centimeters, we use kilometers. But also, if you go to the United States, you're going to get accustomed. You must get accustomed because the United States got itself different units, different length units. 1 mile, 1 foot, 1 inch. So what is 1 inch? What is 1 inch? Equal 2.54 centimeters. But in the UK, in the United Kingdom, they use miles too. But they do not use feet or inches anymore. Okay, so be careful. So you're going to be able to use mile, foot, inch. But remember that if you are just going to England, to the UK, miles, okay, are accepted. But you don't use feet or inches anymore. So you have to remember that. Okay, keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. Good. Here we've got another picture with large numbers. Large numbers. We've got, for example, 100, 1,000, a million. You can say 1 million or a million. It's okay. Okay, you can use article a or just say 1,000 or 100. Both are equal accepted. A billion. Okay, we do not normally use plurals with large numbers. For example, 4,700. 4,700. Okay, remember, we do not normally use plurals with large numbers. But in British English, we put and between 100 and a different number. For example, I'll repeat. In British English, we put and between 100 and a different number. Example, 1,403. 1,403. So let's going to keep it in mind as well because we're just talking British in that case. But if it is American, it does not matter actually, okay? But keep it in mind, please. We use a hyphen. We use a hyphen. What is a hyphen? Hyphen is this what I'm pointing at the moment. This is a hyphen, okay? When we write numbers. I'll repeat, we use a hyphen when we write numbers. For example, 21, 99, 46, 76, 98, 33, 34, okay, 45, etc. So remember, we need to use a hyphen at the time of writing numbers. Great. What about writing? In writing, we separate each thousand with a comma. We separate each thousand with a comma. For example, here we've got 3, 1, 2, 3, comma. Okay, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3 zeros, comma, because we're just separating thousand with commas. That's only at the time of writing. That's only when you write it. Okay, when you write numbers, you can just remember hyphens, and the numbers are going to be separated by commas. Each thousand, each thousand. That is something that you must remember always when you write something, when you write numbers. Okay, I think I think in maths, in math subject, your teacher has taught you this. Well, of course, you know maths more than me, so it's great. Good. So this is the information that we've got so far about the different length units, in the United States and also in England and the UK. To finish, we can make very big numbers simpler by using point. So I don't understand. How can I do this? Come on, it's very simple. Says we can make a very big numbers by using a point. So, example, 1,700,000. Oh my gosh, sir, it's too long to say in English. It's very long and too many zeros. How can I change that into a very short version? With a point. With a point. That's all. And I can write it this way: 1.7 million, and that is exactly the same. If you don't want to add a lot of zeros, you just add a point and that's it. As simple as that piece of cake. So I'll repeat, okay? So we can make very big numbers just by using points. 1,700,000. I just put 1.7 million and that's all. And we all understand clearly. Right? Good. So this is the first part of the new topic that we are going to be studying and developing in the next class, of course. So we've got different length units in United States and also in England, and we've got how you can make sentences with these adjectives. We've got long, we've got wide, we've got height. Okay, remember when I use the verb takes means long time, means far away. It's going to be expanded. Okay, expansion. Takes 2 hours to get to London, so means that I am going to count exactly 2 hours. Oh my god, it's 10 o'clock today. Well, at 10, 2 hours. 2 hours late, I'm getting to London. Great. That's going to continue. Well, this is actually how you can use length units in Britain, measurements in Britain. Now, there is a video which I want to leave you in this session, and this is a girl, this is a mom. This lady, oh my god, she speaks English and she's a great teacher. She's of course better than I am. She's the best. No, for me, she's the best because I also learn a lot from her videos, and I watch her videos daily, constantly, and also she helps me when I practice my accent. She helps me because when I listen to her, I try to copy exactly her accent. And now it's kind of an exercise, a tough exercise, but she's a great teacher. I recommend her videos. Okay, let's going to continue. And here you've got some charts. We've got, for example, the capacity, the maximum amount a container will hold. Okay, we've got British units, for example, inch, foot, yard, mile, ounce, pound, fluid ounce, quart, and gallon. So, oh my God, so do I have to learn British units? Oh, I am not demanding you. I don't demand you to learn them, but I consider that if you had the chance of traveling to England, in the future, maybe the next year, also you must learn both. You must learn American or also British length units. For example, we've got centimeter, and we know that in England is inch. We've got centimeters, and we know that in British and also in American is foot and feet. Meters, yards. Kilometers, miles. Grams, ounce. 454 grams, 1 pound. Oh my God, 29.574 milliliters, 1 fluid ounce. So that is the equivalent of the length units. For example, I've got a question here. Here is a man, and he's just asking a question to this little boy. I don't remember, but I think he was a character of a cartoon. I don't remember his name. Well, and he asks, "How tall are you? How tall are you?" And he says, "Well, actually, I'm 4 feet tall. I'm short." And the older man here, the older basketball player says, "I'm 6 feet, 6 inches tall." Oh my God, it's like a different language, because we are just accustomed to the American English, or also we are just accustomed to talk, to use these units, these length units, but according to our country. We use centimeters, we use kilometers, we use grams, and also liters, but let's going to try new vocabulary. It's going to try a new way of learning length units, but in England. Okay, here in this chart we've got length, area, weight, volume. We've got here in temperatures, degrees, centigrade, Celsius. We've got degrees Fahrenheit. And also we had how to convert Fahrenheit to centigrade. Subtract 32, multiply by 5, and divided by 5. Oh my God, maybe you can teach me more. You can teach me with this, at maths, because well, let me tell you something. I don't like maths at all. I don't like maths at all. I love literature. I love communicative ways. I love language, but maths. Oh my God. But well, I'm going to repeat this formula. It says, if you want to convert Fahrenheit degrees to centigrades, listen to me. Subtract 32, multiply 5, and then divide it by 9, and then you've got the result. That's how you can convert degrees Fahrenheit to centigrades. Oh my God. Well, let's going to move on better, because I don't understand. Okay. Well, these actually topics that can be useful for you. Okay. Here we've got measuring length. For example, length is how long and how far away something is. So we've got this picture. We've also got customary weight, metric mass. You can use it. You can take a look afterwards. This is going to be for you. I want you to practice, okay? For example, we've got pounds and ounces. We've got kilograms and grams, okay? For example, we've got inch, foot, yard, centimeter, meter, tools. Okay. Well, I hope you take a look at these charts. I hope you can practice. I hope you could take a look afterwards, just to reinforce English. And when I give you or I leave you exercises, you will know how to combat that accustomed strength units into new ones. For example, into American, or also into British. Okay. We've got more here. We've got weight, we've got length, weight, and capacity. Okay, and well, let's go to start with the second new topic of today. This topic I love. This topic makes me feel great, makes me feel happy, because it's something that you must know in order to reinforce what you have been already taught, and what you are going to get into a new way of speaking. If you speak and if you learn this topic of today, I assure you are going to get a very good level of English. Why? Because today we've got conditionals. Today we've got conditionals. So, what is a conditional? I have no idea. Also, I know. Could it be a condition? Of course. Its name itself said it. Okay? Its name itself said it's a conditionals means conditions. A condition happens if something else occurs. A condition happens if something else occurs. That's conditional. A conditional sentence is a two-part sentence that consists of one clause beginning with if, called the if clause, and the second clause called result clause. So we've got two sentences. The first one is called the if clause, and the second one is the result clause. The if clause is the clause that has the condition. Okay, so remember, the if clause is the clause that has the condition. And the result clause is a result or a consequence, that is a consequence of the condition in the if clause. So that result clause, the second result clause, is going to be the consequence of the previous one, that is the if conditional. Okay, let's go and remember that. And these charts are going to make you remind you. Okay. What is a conditional sentence? A conditional sentence is a sentence that expresses a condition. A condition is something that can only happen if something else occurs. If we've got that information into our heads, that is going to be very easy, very easy. Okay? A conditional sentence contains an independent clause and a dependent clause. I repeat, a conditional sentence has got an independent clause and a dependent clause. It always begins with if. So, yes and if are the same? Not, they are not the same, because if I use yes, it's an affirmation. Excuse me, do you want a cup of coffee? Yes, that's it. But if I use it as a conditional, say if I, and I start the conditional that I am going to use. Okay, so it's going to be very careful about that. Conditional examples. Okay, here we've got some examples, but first of all, let's go to explain this a little bit, because it says some conditional clauses might begin with when. It's not always necessary that we start the conditionals with if. Sometimes some conditional clauses might begin with when. Okay? So, one question, if I start with if clause, can I make it opposite? Of course. You can change the positions. You can say if, and then you continue, and then you continue and finishes with if. I'm going to teach you how to do it, no problem. Don't get wrong, okay? Don't get confused. It's pretty simple. Okay, types of conditional sentences. We've got many. We've got several conditionals. But let's go to start with the very basic, that's simple, the most simple of all of them, which is called zero conditional. So, what is a zero conditional? A zero conditional is a sentence that expresses a fact or simple implication. Okay, for example, I say if plus present simple, comma. Please, the comma, it's not quite, it's extremely important, because we are just separating, we are just dividing the independent clause or dependent clause. We are just dividing the if clause and the result clause. For example, how can I use zero conditional? We can use it to talk about things that are always true, like a scientific fact, for example. If you freeze water, it turns into ice. because it's true, it's a scientific fact. It's something that it's true, it's completely real. If you freeze water, it turns into ice. You're going to get ice cubes, not that just those little ice cubes when you get a frozen lemonade, maybe. So it's a fact. That is a fact. Or you can say, if you heat water at 100 degrees, comma, it boils. Of course, because if you turn on the oven, you heat the water at 100 degrees, obviously, it boils. Sarah, how can I change the positions? For example, I say it turns into ice if you freeze water. Oh my god, so I can change the positions, of course, but there's always a but coming after all this story. So if you start with the result clause, if you start with the result clause at the beginning, the comma is not necessary because if is going to be in the middle of the sentence. Look at this. It turns into ice. Okay, it turns into ice if you freeze water. So when I use the result clause at the beginning, if it's going to be in the middle of the sentence and comma is not necessary. But if I start with if clause at the beginning, obviously I need a comma to separate the result clause which is coming afterwards. Okay, I repeat, if you freeze water, it turns into ice. It turns into ice if you freeze water. So you can change the positions. That is a zero conditional. Present simple, present simple. Zero conditionals, okay? And the fact is that you can use it to talk about scientific things, scientific facts. Here it says, one, zero conditional express a fact. That's all. Second of all, we've got the first conditional. The first conditional, it's a condition that happens if something else occurs. For example, express an idea that might happen at some point of the future. It is something that is possible. It's something that is possible. But this certainty, its certainty is a no because it depends on another event. For example, we've got present simple and future tense. Remember the zero conditional, it was present simple plus present simple. Now the first conditional is present simple plus future tense. How can I use it, sir? To talk about possibilities in the present or in the future. Remember, possibilities, not probabilities. I said possibilities, okay? So I said to talk about possibilities in the present or in the future, I have to use the first conditional clause. For example, if it rains here in the present, if it rains, what is a consequence? What is a possibility in the future? I will stay at home. If I wake up. Oh my god, the classes start at 8 o'clock. It's 8:30. Oh my god. If I wake up late, comma, I will miss the bus. I will miss my class. So can I change the position as well? Of course you can do it. I can say I will stay at home if it rains. And remember, when I start with the result clause at the beginning, I don't need to add the comma. Because, remember, because I'm starting with the result clause. I will miss the bus if I wake up late. Okay, so you can turn the positions. You can change the positions if you want, okay? But I recommend you to start with the if clause. Because if you start with the if clause, you're going to get accustomed to add the comma. If you add up the comma, you're going to notice that the consequence is going to change. Remember, zero conditional, present, present. First conditional, present simple, future tense. Okay? Good. Let's go to the other one. Second conditional expresses impossible situation. Oh my god, something is impossible here. That it might express things in the future that are unlikely to happen. They are unlikely to happen. Second, it is used to express an idea that is not true because it's impossible. Of course. Second conditional expresses impossible situations. Things in the future that are unlikely to happen, and also express ideas which are not true because they are impossible. For example, I need the past simple. Listen to me. I need the past simple. Past simple. Which is the past simple? Was or were? Was or were? But in this case, we are going to use only where, which is the most common. I am going to make the exceptions afterwards, but let's going to learn this the very basic way. Where? If plus past simple present conditional. So what is a present conditional? Come on. Present conditional is would, wouldn't, plus the verb in the verb form. Oh my god. Oh, I got confused. I didn't understand. Can you repeat, please? Of course. It's not a big deal. I say if plus past simple plus present continuous. So, imaginary situations in the present or the future. Remember, situations that are unlikely to happen. Unlikely to happen because they are not going to come true because they are impossible. I say, if I want, if I want, remember the simple past of the verb? Okay? Okay, want is the simple past of which verb? What is the simple present of want? Come on, you can do it. You know it. Huh? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to answer that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the simple present of want? Win. Very good. You did a great job. Good. So, I am going to use if plus past simple. If I want $1 million, comma, always comma, because I am separated and I need that result clause, I would buy a new car. I would buy, it's a present but conditional. Okay, and here I've got buy because buy it's a verb form. It's a verb, a very formal, a very normal, the very basic way of the verb. If I were you, if I were you, if I were you, comma, I would quit smoking. If I were you, I would quit smoking. It's dangerous for my health. So that is a condition that is never going to happen because it's impossible. Okay? Because of course, I am never going to be you. For example, you are Adriano. Adriano, I'm Jose Carlos. It's impossible. We are never going to change positions. At least I don't know, a future machines, got invented that also appear so we can change, personalities in that case. But I don't think that it's going to happen. So if I were you, it's impossible to happen. It's unlikely to happen. That's why it's a second conditional. Imaginary situations. If I want $1 million, oh my god, it's a supposition. It's impossible. It's unlikely to happen. If I want $1 million, comma, because I need a result, a consequence, I would buy a new car. My question is this real? Is that going to happen? No. So that's why we call it second conditional because expresses impossible situations. Good. Set another conditional. How many conditional do we have to learn? Oh, we've got more, but come on, it's very simple. We've got the third conditional, but this expresses unreal past events. So what is that? Expresses unreal past events? Of course. The third conditional expresses a past idea that did not occur. Express an idea that didn't occur, didn't happen. Okay, expresses an imagined result. You just imagined, but it didn't come true. Okay, you just imagined of the past, but did not occur. In other words, it is unreal. That's why we call it third conditional. Expresses unreal situations, unreal past events. For example, I need if, always if, past perfect. Past perfect, comma, perfect conditional. For example, imaginary situations in the past. I say, if I had got a gold medal, my God, what is this? I can't understand because it's too complicated. Well, it's not complicated if you memorize the verbs in past participle. Remember that we've got three kind of verbs. We've got the present simple verbs, we've got simple past verbs, and also we've got the past participle verbs. Remember, okay. If you memorize and if you learn by heart the three column, the past participle verbs, this is going to be a piece of cake for you. Instantly, you're going to get all the whole idea. So I say, if I had got a gold medal, comma, what is the consequence? I would have been happy. My God, so if I had got a medal, if I had gold, that was a situation, an event that did not happen, did not occur because it was a supposition. I'm just imagined it, in my head. If I had got a gold medal, comma, I would have been happy. Okay, so it was a past situation which did not occur, and the result is another situation that is not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Okay? If I had met Susan last week, so let's go backwards last week. If I had the opportunity to meet Susan, if I had remember, past participle verbs. Past participle verbs. If I had met Susan last week, comma, what is the consequence? I would I would have given her, I don't know, I would have given her a present. I would have given her a cake. I would have given her, I don't know, a new car. Okay, so can I change the positions? Of course, you can say I would have been happy if I had got a gold medal. Remember, when I change the position and when I start with the result clause at the beginning, I don't need a comma anymore because if it's going to be in the middle of the sentence, okay? I think I think this third conditional is quite it's not quite difficult if I may say, but I think it's that we need practice. We need to get familiarized with these conditionals and just with the third conditional the most, I think, but we can practice, we can re-practice. You can also see this video as many times as possible just to understand, but I suggest to practice. Read all this, read all the information given here, and also you're going to understand much better. But remember, you need to learn verbs. You ought to learn verbs, because if you don't learn verbs, it's going to be quite difficult to understand and also to form the conditionals. Okay, and let's go to finish with this part of the grammar, and this punctuation. Punctuation is extremely important. For example, conditional sentences are fairly easy to identify because they almost always begin with if. So if you see a sentence beginning with if, oh, conditional, that's all. Okay, they might also begin with when. Remember, it's not always that conditional could start with an if, also may start with an when, provided that, given that, or considering. Okay, so you've got many kind of clauses, many kind of conditional, but the basic conditional is if. Okay, there are some others one. For example, you can start with when, provided that, given that, or considering. These are also how you can recognize a conditional sentence. It's not always with if. Sometimes they may appear with when, provided that, given that, or considering. Good. So, for example, after Johnny hit the ball, comma, he ran to the first base. If the dependent clause if the dependent clause is after the independent clause, no comma is necessary. Okay? If the dependent clause is after an independent clause, no comma is necessary. For example, after Johnny hit the ball, he ran to the first base. Okay? Remember, if the dependent clause is after the independent clause, no comma is necessary. Okay? Remember that. For example, here says, just like other sentences in English, a conditional sentence only requires a comma after the dependent clause when the dependent clause is placed before the independent clause. Example, if the baby wakes, I will frustrate it. I need a comma because it is a consequence. This is the result condition. If you go outside, you can see the storm clouds. That is a result. When you finish your dinner, okay, so for example, this sentence is just not beginning with if, it's beginning with when. When you finish your dinner, you will clean your plate. When you finish your dinner, you will clean your plate. So remember, we've got if clause and we've got when clause. This is similar to most English phrases. So we've got many different English phrases. I said, for example, after Johnny hit the ball, he ran to the first base. Sir, but after after could be considered also like a conditional, of course. So that's why I talked to them in the beginning exceptions. We are going to, well, today we are not going to learn exceptions of conditionals, but I want you to know that there are exceptions everywhere. Talking about grammar, I mean. Okay, and these are examples for you. Okay, I will be frustrated if the baby wakes. So remember, if it's the dependent clause, but in this case, it's just going to the end, and the result is just going to the beginning. So they changed positions, and if here it's in the middle, and you don't need a comma. Okay, so these are some of the topics that we're going to be learning today, and I want you now to go to this part. So I want you to watch this video with me just a little bit, just 30 seconds, and this video is going to be for you. Of course, you're going to have it in this video, and you're going to have the link. You're going to be provided you know these links, so in order to reinforce, in order to practice more and more and more. Let's going to watch just a little bit.
Hello and welcome to Kangaroo English. I'm Christian.
I am Raquel.
And today we are going to be studying conditionals. How do you feel about conditionals?
Very bad.
Really? You don't like them?
They are horrible.
Well, hopefully today I can help you to feel totally confident
Okay.
with conditionals. It's not that difficult. So how are you?
Fine.
Yes?
Yeah.
Tell me, do you have any hobbies?
Yeah. I like photography and music. I play guitar and piano.
And what type of things do you play on the guitar?
Things that I can. Because I am trying to play better.
And do you have a good voice? I think she's being modest.
I sing in the shower.
Me too, but I don't have a good voice. Well, let's go and study some conditionals. And I think that when we finish, you'll feel really good. Okay. We're going to study conditional.
Yeah.
You're a little bit nervous, I think. Maybe.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Yes, but I think when we finish, you will feel really confident.
Okay, I trust it.
Okay, this is a very short part of the video that you can also watch afterwards, because this link is going to be for you. You're going to be provided these links by me. Okay, and let's going to go to this another video. And as I said, this is an English teacher. She's very known. She's very popular in England, and her name is Gail. Now she's Gail. Her name is Will. And also, if you want to learn more, you've got to www.ingbit.com, and you can talk about today British measurements. Let's go to listen to her. Okay, she's British, and this is the topic previously taught with me. No when we started this video, and she's going to also give us extra information about British measurements, but only British measurements. Let's go to take a look afterwards.
Bill
After
at
more.
ingvid.com, and today's lesson is all about wonderful British measurements. Okay, the way that we measure things like height, how high somebody is. In my case, not very high. Weight, how much people weigh, and again, in my case, not very much. How food and drink are weighed, the volume, the quantity. Property, like space in houses, the space, the shape of a room, how big a room is. Things like temperature, how hot or cold it is in a room. And things like in farming, land, the amount of space that belongs to a farm for agriculture or dairy farming or whatever. Okay.
So this is a short video, a short part of the video of Kill, and also you can have the links. I'm giving you and leaving you the link so you can watch this video afterwards to make a reinforcement of the topic of the day, how you have been taught by me. And if you've got any questions, if you've got something that I can provide you, I mean extra information, you just make a call. You just can send me an email. You can just send me a WhatsApp, and I'm going to be thrilled, very pleasure to help you as I always do. So I hope you like the class of today. As you notice, the level of English has been increased, and also when I speak English, I try to make it, worth. I try to I try to think if you like the class and also if you can understand these topics. We are going to have a lot of activities in the next unit, and also we are going to play Kahoot. We also play Kahoot. I don't know if my friend Daniel play Kahoot with you at secondary fourth, but in my branch we also play Kahoot, and I hope you like this video, and I have the privilege of knowing you face to face. I want to meet you one day and say hello to you. Um, Thank you very much, Daniel. Daniel is my friend. He's a great teacher. He's a great teacher, and I am completely sure. I'm completely sure. Any doubt you've got, any problem you've got, he's going to clear the air for you. Thank you very much. I love you all, and till the next time. Thank you. Goodbye.